Welcome back, boardwalkers, to the art studio. I'm CB Mac, and today I thought we'd use my reference photo, my own reference photo of this persimmon to paint and sketch. Last week I showed you these Winsor & Newton watercolor pencils. We swatched them out in my color diary that I usually keep with all my swatches, color swatches. I've also got my Winsor & Newton 14 colors with my 3 extras and my 2 sets of whites. Travel set. I've got my number 12 Princeton Neptune round and my number 8 Princeton Aqua Elite. I've got my high polymer eraser, the Pentel eraser, and my kneaded eraser. I've got my 2 containers of water and my dropper bottle that I use to re-wet and get these colors going. Most of my colors are already really wet and juicy. Burnt umber here and yellow ochre. Being earth colors, they like to dry out real quick, so we'll probably be re-wetting those a lot. I'm also going to use this bargain $8 US dollars Master Touch Fine Art Studios watercolor paper. It's cold press, it's acid free, it's in an 8" by 8" or 20.32 centimeters by 20.32 centimeters square setup. It's 140 pounds or 300 GSM. And as you can see, I've already got the edges taped. I've already got my dots in place for my grid. And I'll link a video of my modified grid. I've talked about that before. I'll also link the video for the swatching of the Winsor & Newton watercolor pencils. And that, but today I thought it's the first of October, it's the first few days of October. We're in our fall, autumn season. And I thought we'd just get in the fall mood of doing a little simple autumn harvest sketching of the persimmons here. So let's get started. I'm going to find my brown color. I think I'm going to go with my umber pencil. And find my ruler here. Let me see if I can find my center of my painting, of my reference real quick. 1.5, so about right there. By 3 and 1.5. Yep, so right in here where the shadow is about where we'll get started with this stem. And we'll just loosely sketch it out, lightly sketch it out. And since we're using our watercolor pencils, we'll be able to blend these pencils in and hopefully not have a lot of lines with our final piece of artwork. But I'm going to not do a lot of talking. And we're just going to get going with it. That way you don't have to listen to my voice. And you'll be able to just enjoy watching the video. And like I said, I will put the affiliated links on the description. And that just means that I'm awarded a small commission at no additional cost to you if you happen to order them. So let me get this going. That was the yellow. And now I'm grabbing the orange. Now, I'm just, if you notice, I'm just going in it. I'm just going with whatever shapes I'm seeing, pretty much. Using the shapes and the curves of the colors, going by the streaks of the colors for the yellow. You can see the yellow streaks right in here, so that's why I did the streaks. And I'm laying the whole pencil on its side so I have a wider area of the pencil to use to fill in. Now, if you look at the picture, you can see that it's really a darker red, so it's not really a gray or a black. So I'm going to use this mandarin and this red, and I would probably use the carmine even. And I'm just going to start layering all these colors on here. Then when we go to put the water on, that's when I will do it in stages so that it all doesn't run together. We'll use the black for the parts on the stems here. To darken those up. I'm not going to go exactly like our picture, even if it's my own reference. I'm going to take a little liberty with it. We're just watching the shapes of how our and to do this texture on this bark, I'm going to just do, see how there's white spaces in there in the bark? So I'm going to leave a little bit of white spaces and then just do some little bit of the color through here to help with that, achieve that texture. Go ahead and put some dark shadows in here behind this for the background. And we're just going to color it all in. Working on this shadow here. It's a little green looking to me. So I'm going to throw this green in right up in here. this black a little bit. Boone's fussing because he can hear my son working on the farm on the fence. So that's why he's fussing a little bit today. He's a little fussy. So I apologize for that background noise. Got my pitcher ready to put the water on. I'm pretty sure you're thinking, what are you doing coloring everything in before you even put the water on? But I've never used watercolor pencils like this before and put them all in. I usually use them sparingly, but this is my sketchbook, my piece of paper, and the worst that can happen is it just looks muddy. We won't know unless we just jump in and try it out. See what it'll do. All right, I think I need to put a little bit more black over here and darken this section up right in here a little bit. And if you've noticed, I'm going in a lot of different directions so that I get a nice good layer of color down. I'm going to go a little bit darker in some of these areas. All right. But before I put down the water, could I ask you if you're enjoying this video? Could I ask you to please subscribe to my channel, tap that thumbs up like button, share this video, and then click on that bell icon to receive upcoming notifications for my future videos. It makes a huge difference in the growth and the support of my channel. And once again, thank you to those 41 subscribers who are enjoying this channel and have already clicked on that like button and subscribe video button. I do appreciate each and every one of you. All right, I am going to grab the number 8 round Princeton, and we're just going to get ready to apply the water to this painting. Well, actually, before I get back to putting the water on here, I realized we forgot a important shadow right here across our persimmon here. So I've got to get this shadow color in with this carmine and red. So I just need to darken up some little bit of this area here. Darken it up and bring it down into this shadowy area. This little bit of a hooky section right here. And that goes right up across there. So we'll get this pressed in here. Now I'm pressing a little extra hard right here, which is going to crimp my paper, probably, more than likely. All right, and let's darken up this over here again. That way we have good contrast. All right, and I just need to go right in here with this little bit here and follow this edge out with this little bit here. Okay, now we can add this water and see how this is going to go. Bit of dark spots over here, and we can go back through here and get these dark spots a little bit better with the pencil when we're done painting. All right, we're ready to go. I think don't need my picture anymore. We just need to grab our number 8 Princeton. Let me let you look at this real good, so y'all can see what it looks like before we get started. And basically, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and hit these light areas first. And work light to dark. These light shadows and highlight areas. See how this is just blending right in with the damp brush. And it's not very wet, it's not drippy wet. It's just enough to get it damp and move the color. See how that's looking? It's got a little bit of sheen to the paper. Rinse out my brush if I'm worried about transferring any of the color. I've got some yellow streaks in here, but if I just take that across and just carefully bring my brush through here, and some of that drying texture is still on there. It's not all going away underneath. But it's blending in nicely. We're getting some soft edges and a little bit of hard edges to give it some interest. And about the time this dries in some of these light sections, it'll give us a chance to work in some of these other colors and not bleed into one another. We can always go back through with just a plain damp brush and blend this all out. See how that's looking? The yellow area right here is already dry. There's no sheen on it. This yellow over here, I got a little damp because you can see the pigment moving still when I tilt the page. So, I'm going to go in here with my brown and just graze these colors because I want to leave some of that white still, remember? We want to leave that white. This is basically just like coloring now. Tap my brush in here to give some more texture. See that yellow's bleeded in. Bleeding in, but that's okay. Nothing to fret with. All right, get some yellow going here, some orange going there. All right, now I'm going to take this red and bring it in. Just graze that across there. And just smooth it out. Run our brush across it. It's nice and creamy. And that's looking pretty good. Use that brush again. And get this orange section over here that we missed. And just run this across. Blend this out. Drag our brush across again with just a clean, damp brush. And we're going to carry a little bit of that color in. Till we can get it blended. Soften this edge. There we go. Soften this edge out. That's looking pretty streaky in that area, so we're good. Blend this on out. All right. Rinse our brush. Now we can work, while we're letting this dry, we can work on this top half over here, because this stick area is dry, the stem area over here is dry, so we can hit this green up. And put our color in there. Across there, blend that up. Blend up our dark in here. Darken that up. Let it blend and run into each other. That's going to blend just nicely. That section right in here blends nicely right there. And then we can go in with the rest of the water down here for the blue into the black. And I'm going to run it close to the bottom, but not quite touching that red. Get this going. Boone, what's the problem, dude? settle down. And I've got a piece of hair on my paper right here. Might be able to get it. If not, then we'll be able to get it when it dries. There's our twig. Go up here with this. Get this section. Go. All right, rinse this brush. Now I am going to turn my painting so that I can get this other side without putting my hand in it. And I will straighten it back up and show you how it looks when we're done. Don't be afraid to turn your painting upside down if you need to work on it. This side going. Look at that rich blue color. Gorgeous paint. This is some vibrant color here. Rinse my brush again, and now all we've got to do is just this black section. Oops, too much water on my brush. Don't freak out, just dab it. Get this little streak in here. Settle down, Boone. Settle down. Settle down. Boone, stop. Mess me up on my painting here, jumping on me. All right. See if we can dab out that little spot real quick. If not, we'll just have to blend it. There we go. Okay. Wipe my brush because I've noticed I've got the hair on it. That doesn't belong. Almost done. I know you're impatient too today. Settle down. Settle down. Almost done. Last little section here. Rinse my brush. Oh, wait a minute. There's a little green section I'm seeing. Right in there, the greenish yellow section. Where that section of the all right. And if we blend this section out a little bit, wash this color over this section and blend that out. Make that a little peachy color. Blend that line out. Blend this line out a little bit. Now I'm just taking a damp, wet brush. Damp wet brush, getting all that excess moisture out, and I'm just going to run it across some spaces here where I need it to soften out and blend in. This out some. Blend that in. Pull this line out. And there we have it, I think. Take our mandarin orange pencil. I'm going to dip it in my water and then just go around and make some marks. Get these extra little spots on here. And make sure you do it randomly. And then down here on this side over here, we can take and put some marks. Dip it again if we need to soften that tip up some. And there we go. Show you the painting and the reference photo. That looks pretty good, I think, for watercolor pencils. We didn't use any of my watercolor. Over here, if I were to use any of my watercolor, I would take some of this lemon yellow and use it to brighten up some of these highlights by just glazing it on in here. Add in some more to this to the stripes right in here. And brighten up this section over here where our color needs to be. And then right on this corner over here. And there you can see how that watercolor, that yellow watercolor glaze has just made that pop a little bit more on there. That's helped to make that pop just a bit more with the color, with the glazing on it. Shh, we're almost done. Please feel free to post any comments or ask me any questions below. I do read each and every comment, and I will try to answer each of the questions. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Goodbye for now.